Game number 1, because it's only a best of 1 between OG and Nigma Galaxy. They are both 0-1. Waga, I believe you are joining me. Hello?
Yes, hello. Oh my God,
Greetings.
my mic is working too. Perfect.
Well done. You've done so well for yourself today.
You too. So your hair looks on point.
This. I'm never going to be that beautiful again. Very sad, actually, to recognize that. So yeah, DK, not a hero we get to see all that often on the offlane for. You call him Amar, right? I'm going to try to pronounce it as the Amar.
I'm not sure if I'm saying it right or if I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, that's what I call it.
Well, my middle name is very similar, and he's Middle Eastern like me, so I assume it's Amar, but...
Amar? Okay.
Maybe they'll correct me later, yeah.
Yep, Either way, I'll go with you.
DK, why is this hero being picked? Waga. Why?
He's a great hero to bring some immediate disable. Once he gets his Blink Dagger, he is fantastic to lead the way, and he also brings some tower push. Like, that's the things you look towards. Reliable siege, good initiation. He does need that Blink Dagger, though, before he really does this. Great vision here for Nigma. They have wards on this.
Yep, and you see, looks like Nigma are going to be able to snag the 2 bounties, but it'll be likely a trade here. Yeah, Amar able to even it up. So, I heard some of the math skills coming out between you and Cap, and it was embarrassing, but after you went through that just horrible display of figuring out what like the tiebreaker situations, I realized I don't know either. So what did you decide?
Well,
how important is this match?
What I say with pretty decent confidence here is that whoever loses this is relying on a tiebreaker in the tiebreaker to not be out, which is not a great spot to be in. So yeah, you probably want to win. This is a fairly important match.
And between the two of them, you think that OG looked a little bit better, even though obviously they're playing different opponents and different heroes, so it's really hard to gauge off of one game.
Yeah.
Would you say OG looked stronger?
OG looked a little bit better, but none of them really looked like they turned up prepared. But it is just the first game. Could be first game of the day jitters, you know, so if they perform well in the next 2 here, that doesn't matter too much.
I don't know about the jitters from Nigma Galaxy. Maybe the old man-itis with Kuroki just has to, you know, work those muscles in as Amar on the top lane gets off the Dragon Tail on Kuro. Looks like he's warmed up to me. He's chasing off a Dragon Knight. That's a Dragon Knight from the anime, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my. The main character? That sounds like a fierce opponent.
It's very unfortunate that they picked the most boring character for that.
I'm glad
for another time.
I'm glad you also say that. The most bland hero.
Could have blind chosen any other hero. Probably would have been more interesting, honestly. But again, another time, another discussion. Is Misha bot lane? That's going to be first blood going the way of GH, chasing down with that Swarm and Shikuchi. So Nigma off to a good start here. Let's talk about this bottom lane. So it is TA and IO coupled up. Not the most traditional combo against my control on his Spirit Breaker and GH's Weaver.
I feel like Wisp kind of just exists to later on play around the Storm Spirit more, and he's just paired up with TA for now because that's where he ended up. Like, yeah, you guys sit next to each other on the bus. They don't really work that well in the lane, but TA is not going to be pressured too much, I think, on this lane. I wouldn't want to be Wisp, though.
She is fine. Yeah, but then again, it is Wisp, and whatever it is,
the thing?
Extremely strong, obviously. It feels like in every patch is Grimstroke, Taiga, going to be taken out by Kuroki in the top lane as well. So 2-0 advantage for Nigma so far. Let's talk about the mid lane. So BZM playing the Storm Spirit against Miracle on the Medusa. What do you think of this matchup?
I think Medusa is happier than Storm here because you never feel good trading farm against that. Oh, Wisp going to get chased again.
Misha might be dead again, potentially. Has to kill off the Swarm, but looks like he creates enough distance to be safe here.
Yeah,
Go ahead and continue.
Yeah, he'll be fine for now. I think you're never happy if Medusa gets like complete free farm, and that's what we're going to see here, I think. I don't see how a Storm can pressure Medusa to a way that she doesn't get farm. And, I mean, I've seen what Miracle can do with a good start on this hero.
Yep, he is quite good at Dota, it seems. And then top lane is the one that we haven't really talked about as much, even though all the kills have been up here, basically. Or I guess one out of the two. LTW is going to set up the Torrent. Inkswell to follow, though. MR able to get it off onto Kuroki into the Dragon Tail. He's going to be able to walk away safely as a result, but he is getting heavily harassed. Has the 2 levels of Dragon Blood now, the anime name. Very... Yeah. We can talk about that all day, I guess.
Yeah, this lane is starting to show why I know Cap really likes this combination of Kunkka and Bane, talking about how strong it is. It's very difficult to prevent them from doing what they want to do. Whereas the Inkswell is hard to get off if you get nightmared or get torrented. You can't really land it as cleanly as you want.
Mm-hmm. And you guys were talking about Enfeeble and the healing reduction aspect to it. When do you usually get Enfeeble, would you say? And do you think that you get it earlier in this game? I mean, level 1 is 45% health reduction. Yeah, and against Dragon Blood, pretty good.
The thing is, it has a very long cooldown, and it is cheap, but I think you'd rather put more points into Brain Sap and Nightmare. You could get it on level 4 now, though. It wouldn't be bad.
We'll have to see what he chooses to go with. Has 10 wand charges right now, and yeah, it looks like MR is doing just fine up here in terms of his HP. There's the Inkswell with the Dragon Tail combo, but the Torrent to try to counteract this a little bit. Kuroki still has Brain Sap's going to use it, but in a little bit of trouble. Looks like he'll walk away safely. So just harassment at the end of the day. But this is a pretty cool combo. Obviously, Dragon Tail, the longest single target stun in the game, especially level 1, although it has been nerfed over the years. But setting it up for Inkswell, not the most common Inkswell target for DK, but it's still pretty effective, it looks like.
Yeah, it's rather good. We see some trades on mid lane, but this is just posturing. I don't think either is trying to kill the other. As he does get level 6 though on Storm, but Miracle has 15 magic stick charges. I think he better respect it.
Yeah, and I mean CS is like 34 and 11 to 40 and 4, so Storm doing a good job in that department, but he actually is losing the XP department by a half level right now.
He cleared more small creeps. That's the main thing. He killed the small camp.
Now he's going to jump in. Inkswell is there. This is a more common combo here, and Miracle looks to be taking a tumble, but Kuroki TP's just a little bit too late, gets the Nightmare off, but it's not really going to do too much, so Miracle will fall in the mid lane.
Oh my god, that was so unfortunate. Okay, I'll talk about that after he tried to kill Taiga. Gonna chase after him.
Have to get the swarm off, so GH has made his transition over as well. Looks like he'll probably find the kill, although Stroke of Fate is available to get some residual damage, and BZM doesn't look to be going to finish the job here as GH has Shikuchu still. So
something very unlucky happened to Miracle, or I guess unfortunate more so. The catapult creep was so far behind the creep wave, and he sent out his Mystic Snake to try and get mana back. But it kept bouncing away all the way back to the siege creep before it came back to him, so he actually died before he came back with the mana. So he could maybe have lived on Medusa, but I don't think he expected the Mystic Snake to take so long to come back.
Yes, that is unfortunate. His bottom lane, Swarm onto Uragi. Doesn't have Refraction for another 10 seconds, but Misha is here to save the day as per norm. That is the job of the IO, of course. As we're seeing a little replay here of that Mystic Snake. Let's see.
Yeah, look, it just sails away. It never comes back.
Yeah, that's a long bounce. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Oh. You know, that's pretty much the lifeblood of a Medusa in lane, of course. His top lane, we've seen more harassment come out. Dragon Tail with the Inkswell again. You can see that ILTW has done a nice job here. Level 6 being left. Now that he has that Helm of the Iron Will, can kind of 1v2 and be relatively okay.
Yeah, at some time, I think Dragon Knight is now going to be happy being left alone as well, because he has 3 points in Dragon's Blood, 0 point Breathe Fire. Very defensive build.
Bottom lane, we have the charge into the Swarm. And Misha is going to get some TP support from Taiga. Gets off the Inkswell, but not before he ends up dying on the Io. They're going to try to turn this around to position 3 Spirit Breaker for Mind Control. Phantom's Embrace to prevent any potential charge out, but do they have the damage? He is so fast with these phase boots, and Taiga ends up getting the kill regardless.
Yeah, you have so low attack speed when you play Spirit Breaker. He takes 1.5 seconds per attack, so killing off the Phantom's Embrace in the early game is really tedious.
Got to get that Echo Saber just for that Phantom Embrace, huh?
T-Gov hates that item. He's like flaming everyone who gets it.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit surprising. The Spirit Breaker specialist is Miracle is going to get gone on mid. BZM and Misha are here, but Miracle just going to TP out and will be successful at doing so.
Yeah, saw some people buying Echo Saber and Spirit Breaker, and Tigov just standing there and saying that's a grief item, like he'd rather see a shard or something. He thinks Shadow Blade is the better alternative.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on position. If you're seeing a more core like mid or, I guess, potentially safe lane, Echo Saber makes a lot more sense, but Shadow Blade is pretty god tier on this hero these days. As Inkswell, Yuragi, another silence coming out from the Phantom's Brace. He's trying to kill off that. The wife of, I believe that's the lore, the Grimstroke's wife is actually haunting his enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Should be haunting himself.
He sends his wife.
More accurate?
Yeah, that's correct.
Strange.
A little bit strange method of fighting, but you know, he's a weird dude, Grimstroke. Meanwhile, something almost...
he fights with a paintbrush, so he's a weird guy indeed.
Something almost as big as that kill happened at the same time. There was an item drop that Storm Spirit players love to see, the Fairy Trinket. This is such a good item. You can keep it to tier 3 sometimes, just because of how value it is on Storm.
I don't even remember if they even nerfed this. As there's the Inkswell again. Electric Vortex going to set it up. Kuroki silenced, and OG are just abusing this combo left, right, and center. You can see Taiga is just everywhere with this Inkswell. And they've just so much set up to make sure that they can get some kills on a consistent basis here. Have tied it up 4-4.
Meanwhile, Dragon Knight gets bodied down bit by bit by the ulti of Spirit Breaker and persistent right clicks of Kunkka.
Yeah, that's a pretty big kill. So it will be the initial Blink Dagger, it looks like, for the DK, as BZM not only has the Fairy Trinket, but an Arcane Rune as well.
Wow, that's...
How nice. But the grip comes out. Taiga, Miracle trying to set things up with that Stone Gaze. Taiga's actually just going to walk away for now. Miracle continuing to chase. Not able to find the kill, though.
Yeah, he has to be happy about Storm coming in to help him there. Definitely saved his buddy. Nice little jump. Didn't get a kill for it, but he saves his Grimstroke to live another day.
So BZM working on an Orchid this time around. Has the Oblivion Staff. And not that far away, honestly. He's farming quite well. He is second in net worth behind his TA, Yuragi, who has Dragonlance going for Desto. Cookie cutter build from him again, but doesn't mean it's bad. Just
both of them getting up to a pretty good start here on the core positions. And meanwhile, a little bit behind on the core farm, perhaps, is Nigma, but they do have a really good game going on Weaver. He almost has the entire Spirit Vessel already, which is great against Dragon Knight. And Wisp, of course.
Yeah. Man, imagine Enfeeble and Spirit Vessel. Unbelievable healing reduction. That is crazy. MR on the Dragon Knight. He pops the DK form, applying some pressure to this Tier 1 tower. Will probably get pushed out here with ILTW and GH, though. Getting some good value there. He's 1200 into his Blink Dagger, as there we see Inkswell combo again. Usually results in a death of a support, and this time it's Kuroki.
And they're chasing for a
continue on now. Yeah, boat comes out. ILTW gets nice damage buff. It's actually going to connect on MR. Mind Control comes in, though. TP's beautifully into the charge. Looking to find an easy kill turnaround onto the IO. And that's going to provide a lot of opportunity for them to continue here. But they're nice Soulbind. He just hits level 6 here. And they're going to turn this around. Double kill for BZM. And ILTW looks to be next on the list. Make it a triple. And BZM's Orchid is done at base. That is great news for OG.
Yeah, getting a triple kill. He also got the kill on Kuroki. He got all 4 kills. This Storm Spirit just skyrocketed in net worth and is now 6.8k at minute 12. That is huge amount of farm. He has the entire Orchid coming out. He is going to be denied the regen rune by Kuro, though. That was pretty crucial.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
If he got that, too, that would be criminal level of scaling here.
Storm loves that regen rune, that is for sure. So has his Orchid officially now. And Taiga, you can see they're just setting up for yet another Inkswell combo. They're just waiting for an enemy to show on the map. They have a smoke, so we'll see if they want to use it. And there we go.
I like how active they're being around Storm and then just letting both Dragon Knight and TA farm. The action happened to be around Dragon Knight last time, but he didn't have to go anywhere.
Yep, that is true. Oh, they're not going to Inkswell this time because they know they don't need it. It's an Orchid. Orchid reveal for BZM. And that's another easy kill for OG. And this is, I mean, anytime you see a Storm start, like, get off to a start like this, things are scary for the other team typically.
Terrifying. And right now they're waiting for items to counter the Orchid. They have the beak beyond Kunkka being built. Yeah, there we see. Even though they overlapped stuns a little bit there with the Soulbind, doesn't really matter. The Soulbind is so strong in this team when you have double DK stun, double Vortex. They got some great lockdown.
Double Phantom's Embrace. Don't forget the synergy of Grimstroke himself.
True. Especially
It's
once you get level 10. 50 DPS on Phantom's Embrace is a crazy talent if you want to go that route.
But they've been using Inkswell so much that I don't know if they can pass that up.
Yeah, probably just going to take that. Better for a support.
I mean, I don't know how much farm Taiga is going to get this game, but this potential, if it goes late, is a relatively good Aghanim Scepter game for Grimstroke. Getting the illusion of Medusa is not too shabby once he has ridiculous stats with Scotty and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely... I think he might just go for the Aetherlands Shard and then straight Aghanims afterwards. I don't see a need for him to go for other items than that. But I like the choice. He already put the Shard in the quick buy. That strong Dispel is great, and a little bit of healing as well.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shards in the game for sure. Kuroki gets off the Nightmare, but you see the blink reveal from Amar. And Inkswell's going to connect on two, but a nice Stone Gaze. That's going to keep Storm in place. BZM not able to be healed enough from Misha, so that is a huge kill for Nigma. Soulbind onto two, but this is more of a retreat for OG as Yuragi's stuck in a really bad spot. But there comes Amar, pops that Dragon form with another Inkswell to follow. They're going to be able to kill Miracle. Very nicely done. And ILTW looks to be walking away just fine, though. Mind Control, on the other hand, though, completely surrounded. This was such a back-and-forth fight, but it looks like OG still come out on top.
Oh, no, the X-Mark. Oh, yes,
yeah, he X-Marks, but he gets the BKB and will walk away regardless. And Kuros still has Fiend's Grip, so they could potentially turn this around again, but Tier 1 tower is already down.
That was so unfortunate for Storm Spirit. He zipped in. I don't even think that torrent either was a god-level prediction by Kunkka, but I think he was just trying to aim for the Dragon Knight, and then Storm zipped in, got caught by it, and then the combo by the boat. If that indeed was a prediction by Iltivid, then that was crazy. Or LTW.
There is nothing worse than initiating when you know they don't see you, and then getting stunned by some AoE. Happens to me all the time. As Kuro, he's going to likely drop to the Soul Burn here, but the torrent... All right, BZM is basically out of mana. Spirit Vessel is there as well, but there's the save. Nicely done from Misha. Will likely cost him his life, but a second death for Storm would have hurt a lot here.
They might want to fight this.
Yeah, they're actually coming in. Taiga's in the vicinity. Storm comes in as well. GH not going to be able to be revealed here, but ILTW was not expecting this transition over. So that's going to be an easy kill going the way of OG. Make it two. And Miracle forced to use Stone Gaze to retreat, but they're just going to reinitiate in. BZM with very little mana, but Yuragi is here with that newly picked up Desolator. Amar jumps in as well with the Dragon Tail. Miracle still has a decent amount of mana. Now look at this damage being done to BZM. The other strike's being faked out. Yuragi. Oh, it's going to be applied to BZM instead. Still being saved by Misha here as Mind Control continuing to get right-click into Oblivion. Yuragi gets credit for that kill. So Miracle at the very least lives, but they've lost basically everybody in this engagement. Does Nigma.
Wow. OG, they just commit everything. Like, Storm zips in, uses all his mana aggressively, and then he's like, well, Wisp, fix me up. You know, like, you have Soul Ring on Wisp, so you can give a bit of extra mana. It's a very neat little build that people do when playing together with Storm Spirit. Also using it to give mana to Dragon Knight right now.
And OG, I mean, they're looking great. This is such a good start to have against something like a Medusa.
Yeah.
Where Miracle has been kind of kept in check a little bit. Still top 3 net worth as we're seeing the replay here. Do you think this was a symptom of Nigma just assuming that they were going to sacrifice Misha?
Yeah, you can easily underestimate the potential of a team coming back like this, but they don't rely on big cooldowns on OG. So when they relocate out, the Storm got healed to full HP, full mana. He's basically as good as he was at the start of the fight. Like nothing ever happened.
Amar gonna get X into the boat, still at half health, and Misha saves. And he's close enough to the tier 1. Actually, they go to the tier 1. A little baby zip here, but...
Yeah, just a small reposition.
Misha all over the place this game. I mean, the supports for OG have really set the tempo between the Inkswell and the saves from Misha.
Yeah, for sure. They played really well around the mid laner too, and Misha has been on point with his saves this game. Now it's Dragon Knight smoked up, coming around.
Yep, has his level 2 DK form to work with. But looks like Roshan is going to be attempted, so he could be... I don't know if they're going to get here in time.
Yeah,
Nigma They have an idea that this is happening. Swarm comes out, but Roshan is going to be mega dead before then. Yuragi looks to be taking everything for himself here. So Aegis and Rosh go to OG.
Yeah, very nice quick pick there. When you have level 4 and melds, Rosh dies so quickly. And no way Nigma could really contest it. This is the downside of running a mid-hero like Medusa. She is a lot slower. You get in a backseat, sort of.
Yep, Taiga might get caught out here. Has the Ink Swell on MR, but the Nightmare is going to keep him in place. And Misha looking to be trying to save Taiga, but they're going to try to focus on Misha instead. Mind Control with another strike, and the rest of Nigma are in the vicinity. But the jump in from the Storm, the Soulbind as well, the double Electric Vortex. On the run they go, but Kuroki buys back into the game. You can see another wasted Stone Gaze from Miracle. And you can see Mind Control just stuck on the other side of the river. So OG again getting the better of this fight.
Yeah, they're running away with it right now. I mean, Kuro even bought back trying to fight, TPing into that outpost, but it takes so long to TP in on outposts, so he's not there in time, and they're the ones handedly losing the fight again. And this Storm is 9-1 and 6. He's looking like a beast.
Mode for sure. I mean, I want to talk about a couple item progressions here. So first of all, curiously for ILTW, he obviously had the early Helm of the Iron Will, went for BKB after, and it looks like he's just skipping the armlet entirely. And then on the other side, Yuragi has the Aghanim Scepter, which we talked about the other day, where a lot of people are not picking this up as often. What do you think, being a TA expert yourself?
I think this is a great
You have to hold that thought, Wong, as ILTW gets jumped. Pops the BKB. Okay, you can speak about TA again, as Misha will die.
Yeah, he dies, but they keep chasing, dude. They want more.
Yep. Amar is in the vicinity as well, so they're going to get the support kill at minimum.
And that's
not a lot of mana, but still with the Aegis.
Buyback death, so he's dead for 50. But yeah, this Aghanims on TA, I said yesterday it's a win more item. And in this game, they're already really far ahead. They can take full map control with this. And he's probably going to buy Shard immediately as well. And then get even more kill potential and more traps to teleport to. I think it's a smart choice going Aghanims here.
And what are your thoughts on the armlet not ever being finished for ILTW? Was it just like he figured that they're just being so aggressive with the Ink Swell combos, you just need the magic immunity? But then now he's not going back for it at all.
Yeah, I think he recognized the threat of this Orchid on Storm. Like, Storm is having too good of a game and you needed to get your BKB. But it feels terrible seeing this Helm of Iron Will basically being useless now compared to Armlet. Armlet is so much damage for a strength hero. I'd like to see it finished.
He's going to show himself top. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it used to be an item that you wanted to get early, but now it feels like it's just really good for the whole game in most cases. But we'll see what he ends up. He has the Assault queued up, so
yeah, he's definitely going to go for that.
Now. Yeah, has the Hyper Sun. There's the initiation from BZM. Phantom's Embrace has the BKB, so they're trying to reset here. And there's the Stone Gaze, but the Soulbind, I should say, keeps them at bay. So they do find Taiga at minimum here, but the jump in now from BZM, he's expended most of his mana, trying to bait things out, but the Nether Strike with the Spirit Vessel applied, BZM has to be a little bit careful here. Yuragi though, nope, the boat's actually going to finish off BZM, so Misha not able to save him this time around, as Amar and OG probably want to get out, I would think, as Yuragi still has the Aegis though, so Mind Control gets up one more charge for the road. Looks like he's going to get out just fine though, as Miracle creating some cover for him, but it looks like GH will not be so lucky. So despite being outnumbered, continuing to fight thanks to that Aegis advantage right now for OG.
About that Aegis, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't give it to Storm. I feel like Storm is basically the best Aegis carrier in the entire game, just due to the fact that he has no cooldowns that he relies on, and that he uses both the HP and the mana when he comes back at full. And TA can, you know, be pretty safe just by having Refraction. So I'm a little bit surprised they didn't give it over to him, and he did get focused on and died in that fight on the Storm.
Yeah, plus Storm had a pretty big killing streak as well. I mean, I think it's possible that they were a little bit afraid because Nigma were working their way towards the pit. I remember that BZM zipped out.
Yeah, true.
As he got hit by a swarm. So I don't know if it was like they were kind of in a hurry or if that was a conscious decision or not. But yeah, obviously Storm is, I mean, there's definitely no better Aegis carrier in the game. The best regen carrier as well. ILTW, he's going to get initiated on. MR jumps in, but the Nightmare with the potential save. Miracle's in the vicinity with the Stone Gate still available. And OG resetting again, but the X into the Torrent. BZM
Oh, grip.
Oh, he's going to get gripped. Misha is. So the save they were expecting is finally going to get punished. But reinitiation, Amar jumps in again with a buyback onto the IO as well. Boat coming out, Soulbind onto 2. Can they combo this up? Nightmare saving Miracle for a little bit. BZM has to reset again. Very little mana to speak of. Nether Strike is going to try to take down BZM, but he's going to try to focus down Mind Control Intel. He's creating so much havoc on the backline, but Weaver is dead and Mind Control again left to his own devices. It feels like he is so deep in these fights. And the rest of his team not even remotely close. Double kill for Amar. 3 dead for Nigma, and it costs 1 buyback on the Misha for OG.
Yeah, this shard silence from TA is creating a lot of problems. The Weaver can't get his ulti out the way he wants, so he's just running in circles, like being silenced by it. It's just even more silence when you already have Orchid and the Phantom's Embrace.
The question is, can they save the racks? I think they can. Aegis is gone. The tower is down. They don't have Stone Gates for another 30. ILTW no boat for 15, so maybe the melee racks will go down here. As BZM, yeah, OG want to reset. They're not going to commit for the melee racks. The cooldowns for the death timer is still a little bit too quick to get racks at this point.
Yeah, I think they just back out. They have such a punishing lineup for Nigma to push out on the map. There's both the relocate and then the Storm being able to jump from far away, and of course TA having Aghanims as well. So all of them can pretty much be there immediately. If just Grimstroke is around, suddenly the entire team is there.
Yeah, BZM obviously has had this Orchid, and Kaya Sange is going for the Lincoln, so that's to prevent either Charge, Nether Strike, X, anything that can catch him off guard. Of course, you can set this up with like a Mind Control taking off Lincolns from global range, and then you get the X off, but it's pretty difficult still.
Yeah, it's a great item. Also gives a lot of mana regen in general. Paired up with Kaya Sange, which amplifies your mana regen, you get a lot of value from it.
Yeah, and I mean, typically BKB would be pretty good, but you're going against Fiend's Grip, you're going against Nether Strike, even Stone Gaze goes through BKB, so a lot of the value would be lost.
Yeah, I think it's a great item. In general, we have seen so many more Lincoln Spheres lately. It's a great item. People are picking up on how it's been buffed pretty consistently over the last, like, 8 patches.
Yep, because it was terrible before.
Yeah.
It's objectively bad. LTW is going to be safe here. So what can Nigma do to try to get back in this game? They have, I mean, they have Halberd on Mind Control. LTW still working on this Assault, by the way. He has dropped off a cliff, it feels like, with his farm on progressing these items.
It's a big item to finish, and they have been having tough team fights, so combination of that, he's just been kind of stuck, whereas there's been a lot of progression on OG. What they can do, I think they have to somehow bait OG to commit on Miracle. They need to use the fact that Medusa is so tanky, because I don't think they can fight without Medusa. The moment they take any skirmish, it's going to be all of OG, right? So you need OG's resources to be committed on someone who can sustain it a little bit, and that's only Medusa at this point.
Yeah, and they have not only the Roche advantage in terms of killing it a little bit faster than Nigma, they also have traps, so you can literally see when Roche spawns here. Although Taiga is doing a ward impression for himself, was standing in the pit for quite a while.
Yep. When there's a trap anyway.
LTW, he has finished the Assault, so we'll see how much difference is it going to make. Inkswell with the initiation from Storm Spirit. They're stun locking him to a high degree. Nightmare save for a little bit. Pops the BKB, but it looks like Yuragi is going to finish him off along with Kuroki. And that is rough stuff. Using the BKB charge as well as Mind Control able to charge out, but we'll see if Miracle can get out or not. Amar jumps in again with that Blink Dagger. Has the Dragon Form activated. You can see Bane, Kuroki buys back into the game, but there's no way you're saving Miracle in this spot.
Yeah, they can
Dragon
keep
actually
chasing.
connects on Kuroki, so this is going to be a dieback for him as well. And Nigma just falling apart at the seams. And we'll see if OG can get either a Rax or potential Roche in 30 seconds.
Amar runs in and plants a flag in the enemy base. He can't even do damage yet to the enemy base. He's just there to claim the territory. He's on the moon right now.
That's mental damage. That is permanent. That never goes away.
Speaking from experience, or?
Yes. Oh, yeah. 100%. Well, when you get old, you start forgetting things, too. So maybe that's one benefit of getting old.
That's how it goes away.
Kicking in and whatnot. Yeah. So focusing on the top tier 3. And this is going to be a very, very difficult hold. Yuragi has BKB up in 10 seconds. Amar in 3 seconds. They're going to get the range racks in mid. Focusing melee top for now, though. And that will finally go down. Yuragi is getting set up. Oh, they actually do not properly do the X torrent combo.
Yeah, they're going to deny the rest.
Is denied. That's mental damage returned now.
Yeah, it's cleaned out now. Evened out. But it looks like OG are being very systematic here in the push. They didn't immediately go for the melee racks mid, but instead they're realizing Roshan is up. Oh, Nigma coming to a dangerous high ground.
Yep. This could be the final stand for Nigma in this game. A beautiful soulbind onto 2 with the Inkswell to follow. Stone Gaze was already popped, and looks like Kuroki's being focused on the backside. He is taken out, 35 seconds on the deck, no buyback to work with. Nice boat coming in. Save from Io, keeping Yuragi safe, and he's just going to pound on everybody. As looks like Nigma, as I choke on myself, Waga, are trying to retreat, but are forced to fight close to their own base. ILTW's down, and it looks like Nigma are going to lose this best of 1 to OG, as Miracle left all alone here, has to stand his ground, but not much he can do with this.
Medu's going to go down, no way to really stay alive. They have so much sustained chase on OG. Like, you have this tanky Dragonite just running after you, the TA Aghanims to jump after. Of course, Wisp healing up whoever is a little bit too low, switching between the targets. This is like a polyamorous Wisp. He's not staying with one guy, always buffing him. He's going for whoever needs a little bit of help here in the
That's true.
The fight.
Misha, I mean, between Misha and Taiga, they have been the MVP. I know that a lot of kills have gone to TA, and I shouldn't say there's been an MVP. Every player's had their time to shine, but the support play at the beginning of the game, like I said earlier, really set the tone. And Nigma not ready to concede quite yet. Obviously, best of 1, have to ride it out. We've seen crazier comebacks before, but it would require OG to make some massive mistakes.
Yeah, at this point, and now OG not looking like they're going to be undisciplined. They're going to go straight into Roche, who's up, and I can only imagine they're going to start working on the Tier 1 tower on bottom after that, which is still up at 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's looking...
That would be the next step, it seems.
Looking well and healthy for now.
Shard is up.
Yeah.
Amar is going to eat it. A little surprised they didn't give it to BZM, actually. But you will get that Fireball. What do you think of Fireball? I think it's...
Yeah, I wish it had something else to it. It's, you know, just damage. But it is AoE control. It's like a weak Macropire on a lower cooldown, right? It's like just a little bit of AoE control in some regards.
I mean,
but
I want to know the exact difference between that Fireball and the Black Dragon's fire skill, whatever the hell that's called. They are very similar indeed. I'm sure it's more powerful.
Actually, I think the Black Dragon is stronger and has lower cooldown. So the Black Dragon is literally just better. Yeah, it's 85 damage per second and has a 15-second cooldown, whereas the Dragonite has 20-second cooldown and 65 damage.
But the AoE has to be smaller, right? The Fireball for Dragonite seems huge. 450 AoE?
Yeah, it's bigger AoE. It's 300 on the Black Dragon.
Bigger AoE, but suckier everything else.
Worse in every other regard. I mean...
Wow, that is very sad to hear.
You only have 5-second downtime on the Black Dragon Fireball, so you can keep, you know, repositioning it where it needs to be.
Yeah. Now, Yuragi has the BKB pocketed right now, has the MKB in his inventory. As we can see, looks like the old Spirit Breaker is going to drop to the deck. Still has buyback from Mind Control. But OG are just constricting the map, and the lead is just growing even more. 27k network lead. I was not expecting... Like, you gave OG the advantage, but I was not expecting something like this. So we're going to see the jump in from Amar. All right. Got the Soulbind into 2. They're just going to trade it for the Stone Gaze. That seems to be what they've been doing all game. But Mind Control does take out Taiga with no buyback. So this turns into a 4v5 situation because of the buyback on Mind Control. The zip in, BZM, focusing on several heroes.
Yeah,
perhaps a BKB of sorts. All right. Potential save now from Misha. Yuragi getting really low. He engages, of course. They're going to get Kuroki yet again. Boat coming in with that buff. Delicious, delicious rum for OG. That's a beautiful stun. That's an Aghanim Scepter picked up by BZM. And ILTW is going to get dropped to the deck. Mind Control and Miracle look to be next on the list. and Nigma Galaxy are going to lose this game with a 30K net worth deficit. GG's come out, so they are 0-2 in tiebreakers, and OG tie it up 1-1 for themselves.
Yeah, what a nice little black hole from Storm there to finish it on. You know, the Aghanim Scepter coming in play.